good, Chaotic Nation? It is your boy Chaos here, coach of your Detroit Red Wingulls for the final week of the RGBL Season 14. We are facing Ursa Red, the coach of the Glasgow Quagsires, which is ironic because I'm bringing Quagsire for this matchup. But of course, we are out of playoffs. We are 1-7. Not 1-7. We're not 1-7 yet. We're 1-6, and we're not going to be 1-7. We're going to be 2-6. This is a big matchup for Rid and his team because if he wins, that means he gets a playoff spot. If he loses, he has to hope his differential is low enough that he can stay in. So we really can impact playoffs not by making ourselves get in, but by making choosing kind of who gets in and out. So of course, I know some of you are just ready to get to the battle, so there's the link on the screen for you to do that. But stay around so you know what I'm bringing this final week, and you know what we can do better for next season. So that's what the plan is, to do better for next season. I'm kind of bringing a little bit to help out with my abilities to get better at doing this. So we're bringing some standard things, but I'm doing some different stuff with them to try to make it work. So first and foremost is our Terra Captain subtitle, who we've brought every week. It's kind of not a hidden thing that I'm going to bring subtitle, but we're bringing subtitle, and I think it can work out really, really well this week because we're running Leaf Blade, Earthquake, Swords Dance, and Terra Blast. I got him Burden and Air Balloon. We saw how that worked last week. It actually got subtitle some work, so I think we're going to try it again. But we are running a very similar spread to last week. The only thing that's different is so it's max HP. It was max HP, max attack. Now we're running max attack. Not quite max HP. We're running 236 and 20 in speed, which gives us the speed creep on Feraligatr. I decided that Feraligatr actually was a really big threat on the team, and one of the things I wanted to focus on was how I built the team. So I didn't really look at how subtitle was affected otherwise, but I took away that HP investment to put that into our speed category to allow us to outspeed that. Feraligatr does go down with a Leaf Blade, which is great. I also have an opportunity to set up Swords Dance and do some work against this team. So really, Subtitle's counters are Moltres, Iron Thorns, Rabombi, and Feraligatr. With Swords Dance, it can take on Gudra, Moltres, Iron Thorns, Rabombi, maybe Frigoraph as long as it's not Cudchew. Cudchew's might be a case this week, but with Terra Rock will do a lot. So we have to think about Cudchew. Shaman is a liability. It can be Feraligatr, Hitmonchan, potentially Sandaconda, and Dusknoir. I didn't mention the team, but it's down in the bottom. It's Hisui and Gudra, Moltres, Iron Thorns, Rabombi, Frigoraph, Shaman, Feraligatr, Hitmonchan, Sandslash, Alolan, and Dusknoir. I know I said Sandaconda. I meant Sandslash because I abbreviate things, and it's abbreviated to Sand, so it should be Sandslash Alola. Of course, Frigoraph is the Terra captain of this team. I'm expecting Fairy. I always expect Fairy. I think Fairy is a good Terra into my team. As we saw last week, it was a great Terra into my team, so I expect to see that again if it's coming. I don't think Frigoraph has to show up this week. It depends on what he wants to do, and he's got a variety of a team, so I can see any of his mons coming this week. I think I have an idea of what's going to show up, but we could see any variety of his mons come this week, depending on how he wants to play, and that's what we're going to have to address frame 1 when we get into this battle. But enough of that, let's move on to our next Pokemon. We got Charge Bolt, the Vikavolt here, with Leftovers and Levitate. It's a set I wanted to bring last week that I didn't really get to bring because I switched for Assault Vest and Volt Switch. But we are running Dual Stab, Thunderbolt, Bug Buzz, Volt Switch for pivoting options because I feel like that's helpful this week. We're running Max Defense and Max Special Attack to do as much as we can, and I have a little bit of speed investment, just a little tick in speed investment because we can use agility to outspeed some of his team. We are running the agility Vikavolt. I wanted to pull out the stops this week. That really worked week 1. I want to try it again if we can get it working. So I think everyone's caught on the Vikavolt now, but in case we get it working again, it's a possibility for us to show off this week. Vikavolt's main battles are Moltres at +2, Frigoraph is its main shutdown, Shaman, Feraligatr, those are its main things it wants to deal with. It's really here for Frigoraph. That's my best option to deal with it. If it wants to Trick Room, that's an option for us to deal with it too. This team could be a really good Trick Room team. He has the Trick Room setting in Frigoraph, as well as the really good offensive in Trick Room, which would be Sandslash, that would be really great. And Trick Room and actually pretty good into my team, so I could see that coming. He might be a little wary about the Entei, which I think will deter it from showing up, but if it's Trick Room, he doesn't really care about it. Earthquake probably is a good option at that point for the team and such. Up next is Edgeshot or Cobalion. Again, I'm running Expert Belt Justify this week. We're running Hyper offense on this Cobalion set, which means it's Jolly Max, Speed Max Attack, with a little bit of Special Defense Investment, Iron Head, Close Combat for my stab, Stone Edge for coverage, and Poison Jab for some utility on the Fairy types. This is my counter for Goodra. I don't really have any other option to it, but fighting type is the way to go, so close combat when the Goodra is probably the option. I can do some damage to Moltres. I don't really want to stay in on Moltres, but if I can predict the switch, Stone Edge is a great option to do there. Also same for Rabombi. Can deal with Iron Thorns. Everything on my team pretty much deals with Iron Thorns, so if it shows up, I'm really surprised. It's going to have like a really, really good niche to show up on the team and be a problem for us. But those are really Cobalion's main checks. Sand Slash, yeah, we can deal with that too. But really, Cobalion just meant to break some holes in some team and also be a little bit of a defensive Pokemon. Like, uninvested, Cobalion is still pretty good. 91 HP, 129 defense. That's pretty solid physically, so it can do some work still on the defensive side too, as well as being an offensive pivot. I went a little bit more offensive this week. I feel like that's what we need. We've been kind of playing a little bit defensively as much as we can, but this team is built hyper offense, and we definitely got to play hyper offense, and that's what I'm good at. So speaking of hyper offense, we got Entei here with Choice Band and Focus again, Sacred Fire, Crunch, Stomping Tampa, and Stone Edge. Again, the Stone Edge is going to be a thing that comes into play, particularly with Moltres. But this thing can really do some work against the team. As I said, Iron Thorns, it beats Rabombi, Frigoraph, Shaman, Hitmonchan, Sand Slash, Dust Noir. Crunch is there specifically for Dust Noir because I don't have a great way to deal with it otherwise. So Crunch will be my counter for that, which I don't expect to see Dust Noir, but I want to make sure I'm safe rather than sorry this week. Max speed, max attack, it's the standard Choice Band Entei. I'm not bringing anything fancy with that. I'm gonna let it do its course and see what happens from there. Up next is Fat Gum. Again, the standard Quagsire. I said I was bringing Quagsire. I'm bringing Quagsire. I thought it was funny this week. I have nothing to lose, so like I'm bringing Quagsire. I know last week I said it's literally gonna get hit with any grass type move. I prepared for that this time with Rindo Berry. We have Water Absorb to help deal with that for Alligator. This is a good way to shut that down, and I can get some rocks off. Rocks is particularly helpful for like the switching that likes to happen with this team, and great for Moltres if it's not Boots, and great for Rabombi if it's not Boots. Now, those are probably both Boots if they're going to show up. That would be my guess, but we don't have actually. I don't think we have. I think we might have access to knockoff. It's very niche access to knockoff, but regardless, we can do some work there. Stealth Rock Recover, obviously, for recovery and to set up rocks. That recovery is going to be great for Quagsire to just kind of stick around. I have Rock Tombs for speed control, as well as ways to deal with that Moltres, which would otherwise wall me if I try to run spikes or something. And then Earthquake as a stab move. He might just switch into the Moltres straight up, trying to deal with Quagsire by getting rid of its utility in Earthquake. We have ways to deal with that because of Rock Tomb. So that'll slow it down, let whatever's coming in to deal with the Moltres pretty nicely. Quag's main matchup, again, is Goodra. I needed something to deal with that Goodra. That is a big threat to my team and a big defensive wall that I need to be able to break through. So keeping Cobalion and Quagsire alive long enough to do some work here would be great. So this, I know I usually dedicate lead one of the two of those two. I'm actually kind of thinking Sceptile might be the lead this week. I have other ways to deal with it for Alligator, so I'm not super worried about it. And I think a hyper offensive lead could be a really good matchup for this team. Just bring out Sceptile, set up an SD, and nuke something. Could be a really good option to let us get through this team. And last but not least, making another appearance is our Grafaiai this time around. I'm running Lagging Tail Prankster. Yeah, I'm doing the Lagging Tail Prankster thing. That's really here for Alligator, who's going to want to just kill the team. Otherwise, I have Knockoff for utility, Super Fang for utility, Parting Shot to kind of deal with some of those threats. So the idea is to switcheroo the Lagging Tail on the Alligator. We can knock off well, we can parting shot, get something else in, or we could let this thing go down. Either way, it's going to be an option for us to get that in and come in on like a way to revenge the sweeper that would be for Alligator otherwise. We don't have any other utility with like Thunderwave and stuff, which would be great. So this is where it's going to have to really work. As I said, that main matchup is for Alligator. That's why this is coming this week. So if for Alligator is gone early, this might be a sack at some point. But it can do a lot of really good things with some of the faster mons. Of course, Lagging Tail makes you go last in your priority bracket. So it doesn't matter that we're Prankster. It's going to allow us to go first. We're still going to go first because of the priority +1, but the Lagging Tail will stop for Alligator at a neutral priority from anything else that's just going to attack. So it's really helpful and good in that case to get something like something slower, maybe Vicavolt in to get a revenge kill or something like that along those lines. That can help us out. And also just cripple his team, which is great. Good against Goodra, we want to get rid of that item. Moltres, we want to get rid of the item. Rabombi, get rid of the item. As I said, knockoff, those are really the things that it's going to be there for. Shaman can be really good. Shaman is going to be bulky, so parting shot is going to be nice. And we pressure Shaman because we could have a poison move, which could do a lot. Grafia is not a slouch when it comes to attack. Like 95 is still pretty good. It's not great, but I am adamant, so we can do a little bit of damage there. And then we also can beat Sand Slash if it wants to try to set up and sweep too. We got that option as well. And Dusknoir knockoff is great into that slot too. We're not going to take the hits as well, but we can do some damage here. So that is the final team of this season. What I expect his team to be, it depends on really what he wants to do. Well, he's shown a lot of hazard this season, so I am predicting the Hitmonchan with spin options, probably Assault Vest at that point. Some sort of bulky offensive Goodra, maybe Assault Vest Goodra, that would be a good option for this team. Maybe more defensive with leftovers, who knows. It's definitely a defensive option, I feel like, this week. Moltres, Heavy Duty Boots Pivot, probably with U-Turn. Hurricane Fire Blast, going to be standard with standard Moltres makes the most sense for this team. Shaman can do a lot. Leftovers, Leech Seed, Sub-Leech Seed is definitely a big thing that I think of when I think of Shaman. So I could see a Sol set. It's probably more of a defensive pivot, a defensive tank than anything else on the team. And then, of course, for Alligator, Life Orbed with Sheer Force and Day Dance, like that's why this Grafia is here in the first place. And then for Rigoraph, I would kind of expect it to be a setup sweeper. Maybe it's Calm Mind setup sweeper. Maybe it's got agility, some kind of dance setup move and sweep, likely with some sort of boosting item, maybe an Expert Belt, maybe Life Orb if you want to go that far. If it wants to be Trick Room, it could be a Trick Room setter too. So there's some options there. Said Terra Fairy, that's the play. The only thing I really don't see coming for this team, the only two things is Iron Thorns and Sand Slash. Anything else, pretty much fair game. Rabombi did do a lot of work against us last season, and I think it's a good option against my Sceptile. So if anything's not coming, I would assume that's going to be the next thing up on deck. But as I said, we have Grafia. That's a good way to deal with it. So we have some options. I'm going to try my best this week to try to get a win. I'd like to be the reason that Rid doesn't make playoffs. I know that sounds vindictive, but I want to also win, so I'm not here just to lose. I'm going to do my best. So I'll see you in the match, and we'll see what team preview looks like, rather. Alright, we're here, team preview, last battle of the season. Little surprised here. So we have no pivot, no utility for my rocks, which means both. So it means both the Moltres and the Rabombi are probably heavy duty boots. We don't see Shaman, which I'm actually happy about. So we have Rabombi, which is probably heavy duty boots. That's my guess. That's my assumption. I know I shouldn't assume, but I'm gonna take a guess that that's what it is. And then the other set that's different is Sand Slash. Probably Sand Slash. It would be an SD Trick Room sweeper. That would be my guess. So we could see the lead right off into the Frigoraph. I think maybe. So what? Let me look at Sceptile real quick. We beat Gudra. We can beat Moltres. We beat Rabombi. We beat Feraligatr. We kind of take on Sandslash, so maybe it's not the best to go ahead and jump that off the beginning. His Terra type is Psychic, so I assume that was meant to be that. So that seems like it's more offensive. Maybe a setup with what did we see last week? What was it called? Can't think of the move. The one that does psychic damage after 3 turns. Future Sight, yeah. So maybe it's Future Sight, Calm Mind setup. That would be kind of the thing. His win con is probably that Feraligatr, I would have to guess. Which is fine by me. The question is the lead. So what do I expect? What do I expect? It could be the lead. I could just go Entei. That's a pretty safe lead. We do a lot to all of the things on here, and we would basically just be threatening out. I don't know if we I doubt there's no way we outspeed the Rabombi. Because that's the other thing Rabombi could be doing. Rabombi could be a Sticky Web setter, a Sticky Web lead. And I would be okay with trading that. I don't think Sceptile wants to deal with that frame 1. Because I think Rabombi is going to be faster. Yeah, Rabombi definitely going to be faster, and that is going to have bug. I mean, we can tear a rock right off rip. And kind of prevent. We can tear a rock off rip and kind of prevent the Moonblast will still hurt like crazy, but I do tear a rock will allow me to get Nasty up, because then I'd be unburdened and we would be outspeeding his whole team. Then the only question is the Sandslash. And like a basic Sandslash without any setup, I'd have to be +2. This is, if I look at a lowland Sandslash, if I look at a basic Sandslash without investment, Earthquake is not enough. Well, Earthquake is enough. So a +2, we might just go ahead and call Sceptile and make him play around it, because I don't think Rabombi. So the only way that's a bad lead. Let me look at Bug Buzz Rabombi. Look at Bug Buzz. Bug Buzz Rabombi into the Sceptile, into Rock Sceptile is fine. We would have to predict that. And I think I want to go. You know, I don't play like this normally, and we have options for the Feraligatr in the back. Because Vikavolt can deal with Feraligatr with the items. So I think I want to go. I really just want to click the Sceptile button. Let me check the Farigiraf matchup here. If it is Farigiraf, it could be Armor Tail. If it is Armor Tail, that's a little bit of an issue. If it's Armor Tail, that's great. If it's not, then I would assume it's Cudchew, because that would be what would stop my Sceptile the most. And actually, no, Cudchew doesn't do that. What does Cudchew do? I know I'm taking a long first turn. Oh, Sap Sipper's what I'm looking at. Saps. It could be Sap Sipper. It could be Cudchew. It could be a lot of things. So I don't want to just send the Sceptile yet. I think it's a really good option if I can get it in, so I can play that setup safely and do some work from there. I kind of want to go Fat, just because Fat's a good start. But that does limit my Gudra options in the back, and I definitely need that. But you have a good matchup into anything right now, which I think is what I want to do. His lead probably is that Rabombi, would be my guess. It's Rabombi or it's... Which makes me want to go Entei. I'm actually going to go Entei. I'm going to go Entei. Leads the Rabombi. Yeah, that Sticky Web's 120% of the time. Which is fine, because if you want to click it, I can Sacred Fire for your whole health bar. So that's a great start. So we have to think through this. We can't just play the game. We can't just click buttons. We have to think through. I'm going to take a little bit more time with these matches just to think through stuff. So I didn't really plan our turn 1 well, but let's see what the sequence is. So my win con right now is probably Subtitle, which I don't have to worry about really until I need to do some chips to that the Frigoraph before we get into that. Sacred Fire is free. The switch in, I believe, would be for Alligator, and that would be a really risky switch in for him. Because if Alligator gets burned, I'm not worried about it anymore. Stone Edge would be doing more, but Sacred Fire is 36 to 42, and that would give me a free switch in to go into something like Quag to get rocks up, and then we can shut that down in the back with the Grafia. So I think I want to click that. Moltres would be the other switch in here. Both Stone Edge would be great. Honestly, Stone Edge is a great middle ground play. Because I think Rabombi even dies to it. Yes, Rabombi dies to it. So Sacred Fire seems great. But I think Stone Edge, and I'm going to bank on the Stone Miss. Let's see what happens. Sticky Web, we're going to click Stone Edge. You're sashed. Okay, that's good to know. Alright, so now the switch probably is Goodra. Would be my assumption. Because you're going to see Stone Edge for 25% and click that every time. You're assuming you don't know if I'm banded or not, which is great. The Unburdened Sceptile is a little bit of a problem now because I'm not going to outspeed everything, which, you know, speed control great for your team. I don't have any way to get rid of that besides going for the Espeon, which, you know, makes my team a little bit tough to use. But let me see. Rabombi does get access to Giga Drain. What's the likelihood of that being clicked right now? It's pretty low. But I'm gonna have to take 2 hits if any way I slice it. So I'm gonna play the mid. I'm gonna click see the U-turn. I should have gone Quag. That would have been great. There's for Alligator. There's a crit 49%, which is great. That actually gives me some info. Where's my Entei set? So 49%. 49%. That could be a low roll with non-investment. He wants to click Liquidation here. He also could just go Ice Punch for Alligator. So obviously my setup is not going to be the win con now. But for Alligator's in a spot where Subtitle wins. He have to click Ice Punch, so let's do the switch. My balloon is huge. Alright, so that's a good flip turn. That's a good note. I don't know why I pinged that. So this is flip. Flip turn. So this should be the the air balloon actually was really good. Because Sceptile does not take the webs now. So what wants to come in now is a good question. I should have probably read that a little bit better. But my gut would say it is go to... Well, Moltres would be the normal counter, but because I am Terra Rock, he won't do that. Unless he doesn't realize I'm Terra Rock, which, you know, I've been trying to play this whole... I give everything the wrong Terra type. A different Terra type just to kind of mess with my opponent. See if they are paying attention to what my Terra Captain is, which they probably are. But, you know, I've messed up by not knowing a Terra Captain before. This season, in fact. So that's a good... He's going to do a lot of pivoting. That for Alligator's in a really good spot to be KO'd by literally anything else. We didn't miss Stone Edge, which is massive. See, Rabombi can't come in right now because Sceptitle's here, and because of my speed. Because I'm Burden is procs. So the best thing would probably be Goodra. Probably BB. Hisui Goodra. Earthquake is still too... Yeah, he can't kill. He actually probably can kill. 36%. He can't kill. So there's Moltres. My best opportunity... So, I outspeed his entire team right now. And I like the idea of Terra Rock. So what does Moltres want to do here? That's a really good question. Moltres is probably gonna... What would go into Rockwell? What do you have? You Scorching Sand. He couldn't be a read on Scorching Sand. That'd actually be probably a good play. But if I'm... Let me look at my calcs. So I could really try to make a good read here and win. Terra Blast, Terra Rock is a KO most of the time. That's on Hyper Defensive. So he would have to... That's their 25% though. He could be going for a burn. He could go for a Willow. I think we Terra... We definitely Terra, but is it... Do we click... Do we click something else? I wish I got rocks up. Do we click something else here? Like, we're actually in a pretty good spot. Like, we don't have a lot of damage, and his Fraligator's half is Rabambi's at 1. So as long as I outspeed, which I do have a speed, I do have speed options on Entei, so there is a free kill there. If I get rocks up, that is a dead Rabambi for free. He's looking like he wanted to save that Sand Slash in the back. So I assume it's Trick Room. I'm gonna make a massive Trick Room note. The Trick Room is probably the option. We haven't seen it, so this could be a U-turn into that, into the, what's it called? Into the Farigarath. Scorching Sands, I'm unburdened proc with no item. Scorching Sand is 48% with Terra Rock. Not invested. At max, he does 59, which I'm okay with. I'm going to SD. Terra Rock SD. I'm faster. We get some good reads. Air Slash for 26. And now we just click Terra Blast. So I think this actually could be a subtitle sweep here. That SD is huge. So it'd have to be Sash Moltres. We do see Air Slash. I keep putting my pencil away. I think we're playing pretty good. Air Slash. I would hate to be the reason Rid doesn't make playoffs, but I also want to be the reason. Because I want to win. Like, that's just how it works. So I can basically kill anything on his team right now. I am +2. I know I don't have to stay in a Sceptile like this, but I think I should try to ride out this Sceptile as much as possible. I think one of the big reasons we've been not succeeding with Sceptile in this season, because I've been holding it to the back to try to be a sweeper, when I really need to put it up front to be a wall breaker. And that's kind of what we're doing this time around. I saw an opportunity to get it in. I know it's my best option to do a lot of damage to his whole team. So that is the case. He also has to think, what are my other 3 moves? Like, what are my 3 moves? Am I running Earthquake? Am I running X-Scissor? For that Farigarath? See, Farigarath is the biggest issue right now. But, I really would like to... I think I want to see it switched in. Because Farigarath switching in on this would mean it loses 76%. If it's invested in HP and defense. If I get the +4, the safest option is if I can get the +4. I do get a guaranteed. I do get pretty much a guaranteed KO. I get an 81.3% KO with Terra Blast on a max HP on a non-defensive Farigarath. Because I don't want to click Leaf Blade because of Sap Sipper. And so that's an option. The good part is with Feraligatr. So with Feraligatr, he can't just assume I'm going to click Leaf Blade anymore. Because his Feraligatr is low enough that Terra Rock does kill. So I think we're in a really good boat, honestly. Just what is he going to do here? I mean, my gut... Yeah, there's the KO on Moltres. My gut is he was letting that go down, seeing that it wasn't going to work. Which now gives Cobalion a really good out at the end late game. That also lets Vikavolt Vikavolt clean at the end too. Alright, so here's the Hisuian Gudra. A physical one will eat this hit. A Flash Cannon does kill me. I'm gonna just EQ because I want the damage. It is not So you're scouting moose, which is good. That's huge off the field. That's a huge off the field play. Because now the real threat right now is the Trick Room. That real threat is the Trick Room. And this could just be a Sceptile 6-0 sweep at this point. Yeah, they're just talking about. So that was, yeah, they're all like, "What's Sceptile doing? Sceptile's doing stuff." Wait, that's weird. Sceptile hasn't been doing it, but it's how I've been playing it. It's not that Sceptile's a bad Pokemon. It's a little tough to run in this, but actually, it's really good with its Terra. That's why I gave it to it, and I just haven't used it well. I've been using it as a sweeper. I needed to use it as a wall breaker. Sceptile's not something that needs to live fights. It needs to come in, set up, and kill. And that's what it's doing. So we're +2/+2, which puts, what are we at, like 590? Yeah, 590, 562 speed. We have a guaranteed KO on most things. The lack of speed here makes me think that this Farigiraf does not have something to deal with Sceptile. It might be a more defensive variant, but even if it is Farigiraf here, we have that for alligators on half. That Farigiraf is at half, or yeah, Farigiraf's at half. The Rabombi's on 1, and that just lets Entei come in and E-speed everything. So Entei might be the win con right here. Entei comes in, E-speeds everything, and then we have if the good thing, so here's the other thing I didn't mention about Lagging Tail that's really good. If it is Trick Room, and one of the reasons I wanted to run the Grafai, even with the Armor Tail, which I think is what's going to happen, what I think this is. Even with the Armor Tail, the ability for us to stop the Sand Slash, because that would be the Trick Room sweeper, is huge, because we can slow it down even in Trick Room, and since it is slow and probably not invested in speed at all, we can just lower its priority bracket to let things that are faster than it actually outspeed it, which is great. All right, so this is the, I think this is a guaranteed KO as long as it's not super defensive. Saying Alola. So my gut would say that this is a little bit of a defensive one. I'm gonna just max out. We still have a roll. I'm gonna EQ. It is not enough. So we didn't get the roll. Triple Axle will not KO though. It will KO. All right, that's unfortunate. But here's what we have done. Except Sand Slash on 2, Rabombi on 1, for Alligator at 51, and Farigiraf's at full. So basically, it's what do I want to do here? And honestly, it's kind of, yeah, it's only 18% for EQ to kill. So he was not fully invested. He was a little bit less. So what do I want to do here that stops the Sand Slash? So I'm slow, which means I want to do as much to shut down his team as possible. I wanted to check that Entei calc on for Alligator. I don't have E-speed. That's really bad. I can Facade E-speed though. I can Facade E-speed. So that would have been phenomenal, but I don't have it. I do have to remember when anything that comes in is -1 besides the Vikavolt. Honestly, Vikavolt looks really good right here. Because, do Pokemon with Levitate. I feel like, avoid Sticky Web. I think so. It doesn't affect flying type Pokemon or Pokemon Levitate ability. That's what I thought. That was so good. So Vikavolt's actually pretty solid right now. This is Sand Slash. Alola. The Triple Axle is 52% at +2. I mean, I guaranteed a KO anyway, but at +2, I am at 246, which puts me faster than than the Farigiraf if it's max speed. We do see that it was a roll. It was an 18% roll, so I just didn't get in my favorite, which is fine. I kind of want to go Toga here, but I also want to save that utility for the back. As I said, Cobalions looks really good still. We need to keep Toga around for that Feraligatr, because that Feraligatr can reverse sweep us if we are not careful. I'm interested in the matchup with Quag. Because Quag's utility really is not... I mean, we can kind of take on Feraligatr. That Feraligatr probably has Trailblaze. We beat Sandslash and we beat... So this could be a really good opportunity for Sand. Slash, Alola, Sandsla, Alola. This could be a really good opportunity. It could be an SD, which would be annoying, but it does 44 max. It is not lefties either. So what was the roll on the Sceptile here with Triple Axle? Triple Axle was 88% with Terra Rock. Let me see what one hit would have done. One hit would have done 12 to 15 at max. It did 10, so he's not even max attack. He is not max attack. Or he's not. He might not be adamant. He could be max speed. Maybe let's see what Jolly looks at. No, he would have to not be max attack. Period. Or max something else. 18% not the KO. Well, we know you're not max defense, so you've definitely got some split EVs around. Maybe that was an HP or something like that, but he's not max attack, and he's not adamant. He's probably both. So with the Sand Slash on the Vikavolt, he would, yeah, I don't want to take the hit there. That's not a good idea. This could be a good Entei. But if I bring in Entei right now, so here's the issue. Oh, Choice Band Entei versus Choice Band Entei. If I bring in the Entei right now, that's an easy switch to Feraligatr, which I don't want to set up. I don't want to let that set up. If I bring in Edge, actually, I would not mind bringing in Feraligatr. I would not mind bringing in Feraligatr at all. So let's go ahead and the 251. I'm 236 at Entei. Let's look at Sandslash with a Timid Nature. Alola. Slash with a Timid Nature. Let's look at max speed. Tim. I'm just gonna put Timid in. At -1. At -1, I am not faster. But you Earthquake me for 58%. Is that really that bad? Yeah, it's not great. So that's slower. Everything on my team is gonna be slower than this coming in. Maybe not Cobalion. Cobalion is offensive. I wish I had Defiant and not Justified, honestly. Sandslash. Alola. Cobalion is outspeeding at -1. We do still... I +1 accidentally. -1, 230. He would have to be max speed and... he would have to be max speed and timid too. He would have to be timid and most speed, which I don't think he has because of his HP investment. And that attack, he might not be attack invested. Let me see if that could have done nothing. No, he hit for 10. 10, 2 hits, does that do 21? Let me look at that calc. 2 hits does, that's 3 hits. 2 hits, does 27. Yeah. So he probably is not invested in attack. He's probably invested in speed defense. So maybe it's not short room at all. But anything that comes in is gonna be slower besides that. Besides the Cobalion. What do I need? I need Vikavolt. With Moltres gone, I'm cute. I'm free. My counter, I can beat Fergravap, I beat Feraligatr. And Rabambi at 1 HP, I don't really care about. So, wish I'd put more speed on it, but I need to keep Vikavolt alive, that's for sure. I need to keep Grafaiai alive, that's for sure. Anything else can pretty much go. I don't think Sandslash gets access to recovery. Let me just look at Sandslash. Alola, it might actually get Trailblaze, which would be kind of really bad. No, it does not. Grass. No, so we're fine. We're clean with the Quag. We're clean with Quag to come in and do this. So I'm going to do Quag. I'm going to take the turn to get Stealth Rock up because I want to make sure that we can chip. If this switches out, both it and Rabombi are dead. I mean, it could be a Rabombi coming right back in, but at least it's gone. And then we should save. We need to save Quag because having Quag for the Feraligatr is huge. Having Quag for Feraligatr is huge because we want to be able to switch into a move. So I'm gonna try to get rocks up. And we'll go from there. Yeah. So I can have good battles when I'm playing. But I haven't been playing this season, guys. If you guys are enjoying this video, make sure you like and subscribe. We'll be back. We'll be back. Yeah. No matter how this turns out, we'll be back. I might get really mad, but we'll be back. But we're playing good. We're at a 5-2. Sorry, 5 or 4. With 2 Mon, basically it's a 5-2. But them being alive is really good for sacks later on. So the good part about it is I can predict those sacks and hopefully get the best case scenario would be to predict those sacks and get Vikavolt set up with speed. That way it could come in and deal with anything else. And I don't think Feraligatr really wants to hang out with Vikavolt at all. Liquidation is 69%. This is why we keep Quag around, because you're gonna want to click it. Triple Axle. Wish I had Rocky Helmet. Hit 1 time. All right, so we're good. I don't know if I want to show utility or not yet. It's not banned. There's no way that's banned. He decided to let this thing go down, so he might not decide to let that go down twice. Earthquake's the free move. There's Rapid Spin. All right, so that gets rid of the Sand Slash. Was a spinner. That was the spin. I didn't think about Sand Slash spinning, but hey. So this should be, my gut tells me this is Rabombi. And if it is Rabombi, what do I do? It's a great question. It's Farigiraf. Okay. So he's trying to get Farigiraf to win right here. That's my gut. How does Farigiraf win right here? How does Farigiraf win right here? Farigiraf. Offensive Trick Room. Terra Blast. It's Terra Psychic. I can't do crap to it. I can get, but it could be a nasty plot, and that's really bad. It's really bad for us. Let me see what it's going to want to do to Vikavolt. I knew this Farigiraf was going to be the issue, fortunately. Vikivolt's weak to fire and weak to... I actually don't know what Vikivolt's weak to. Fire, rock. I want to look at what your weaknesses are, sorry. No. It's weak to fire and rock, yeah, that's it. And it resists everything else. So this could be a grass move, great time to switch in. I don't think you get a fire type move. If my memory serves. You get Sunny Day, that's your fire type move, and your rock move, you get none. So this should be a straight up switch in to Vikavolt, I believe. Not for Alligator, for Rig or Raph. Bug Buzz is KO at +2. Terra Blast. Ooh. Psychic Terra Blast is gonna be enough. Alright, so it's obviously set up because you can't you don't get a grass move. You do get a grass move. So it could be Energy Ball. Could easily be Energy Ball. It could easily be Energy Ball. So we could make a mid-ground play. We could make a mid-ground play. But the big problem is if that gets +2. No, it's not a big issue. Oh, it is a big issue because it's Armor Tail. So how do I'm assuming... Or Rig or offensive trick room, but we're gonna take away the HP investment and we're gonna look straight at speed. We want to look modest, probably. I mean, that Psychic Terra Blast could be the downfall here. Psychic Terra Blast, without investment on Quag, is 72%. But you're probably... I mean, you got to be Armor Tail. At so 188. So we're looking at 188. How do we outspeed 188? So you're the only thing that doesn't get rocks. 188. Cobalion does outspeed that. Cobalion is 45 to 54% on for graph with that. So that means Entei also outspeeds. Entei is actually really good. So let's if you want, I'm gonna make you kill me. I'm gonna Stealth Rock, Terra Psychic. There it is. We're fine. I'm gonna make you kill me. So this could be, in case it is a nasty, I have to use that. The rocks are great because that means Rabombi's gone. Entei comes in at 80 with 85 and Cobalion cleans. I don't want to really sack Quag though. What's Terra Psychic? What's Terra Psychic doing to Entei right now? Terra Psychic's with Psychic isn't gonna be a kill. I bet. Psychic. Terra Psychic is 77%. Even if it's max speed. What's max speed Timid? Max speed Timid. 252. IV's 31. No, I'm not saying IV's. He's faster. Ooh. He could be faster. I mean, he's faster than Quag, which is fine. That's Sceptile, Entei, Quag. Rigorath definitely was going to outspeed Quag any day of the week, regardless of being 0 invested or not. Even with Quiet Nature, we were still outspeeding. So we don't get any information on that. We know you want to click Psychic. You know you want to click Terra Psychic. So this is probably a fast one. I'm 319. I'm slower. So I don't want to take a hit. I don't want to have to come in and take a hit. I need to be able to do this safely as possible. So unfortunately there's Quag down. I have to crunch here. This would be a great switch into Rabombi. But honestly, hold on, before I just lock myself in the crunch. This would be a great switch into Rabombi. Okay. But we are 81%. Rabombi's dead for Alligator. How do we deal with that? For Alligator's Liquidation kills us. So that would be where we send in Toga. But Crunch would not be a bad idea. Let's Crunch. Still click the Crunch. We have to sacrifice the Grafai to get around the Armor Tail. Because it definitely is Armor Tail. That's why I didn't show up for Sceptile. Otherwise, it's a great answer. Armor Tail. No priority. Which is great. Which means Grafio probably wasn't as needed this week. But if I didn't get Sceptile in the way I did, we were in trouble. So, his win con right here is to sack the Rabombi, get Entei in, show Entei's move, because he knows I'm banded, probably. Get Alligator in to do something, which is probably Liquidation. We did see the flip turn. So So I want to take a look at that. Flip turn did 16.5% the Sceptile. For Alligator, Dragon Dance, Life Orb, flip turn. And I did not Terra. I was not Terra at that point. So this is Grass. Flip turn. He is not. He can't be Life Orbed. Crunch is good. I'm faster. Weakness policy. Oh. Fudge. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. That's it, I think. Shoot. Did I really throw there? Yeah, I did. That's it. That's it. That's the game. I can't outspeed it. Yeah, I just threw it away. I should have Sacred Fired. I didn't consider weakness policy. Yeah, I messed up. Well, I was gonna forfeit this game, so at least the 3-0 is not bad. There's no way out of this now. Like the best option I have right now is to do this, and I'm not outspeeding with the speed drop, and I'm dead, so it just doesn't matter whatever we do right now. It's a +2, it outspeeds my whole team. It's just, yeah, I don't even, yeah. Even if it's not invested, which it could not be, a +2, I think it does outspeed my whole team. I mean, it just showed that it outspeeded my whole team because it outspeeded Cobalion. And Psyshock it's yeah, without even the boost, it's a KO, so. The only option I have is to hope he's not Armor Tail. He is, okay. That's what we expected. And that's a GG, because I can't do Jack right now. And it's for a rough sweep. I just... I'm just bad. Yeah, I knew it was the Frigoraph was the issue, and I knew the weakness policy was a set. I just... I knew it was the set, and that was the thing. I just didn't... I thought weakness policy only after it procced, which was a really dumb thing to do because that was obviously the way to do it. Good job, Red. I definitely don't deserve any wins this season with all the crap all the really bad playing I've done. So, as I said, I'll do better next season. We were playing really well, and I just... Yeah, it's just... That's the thing. I can't stay focused the whole battle and win. And this is really annoying because I thought I had a really good shot. I did have a really good shot, and then I just, I should have clicked Sacred Fire. I didn't even think about weakness policy, and I really needed to think through that option, because if I Sacred Fired there, that's a different outcome. If I say, no, I honestly don't think that mattered. Did it matter? Let's see. It would have helped differential. That's really about it. Because even a Psychic... I mean, Psychic can't kill Vikavolt. So, yeah. Yeah, I gotta do better next season. This is just disgraceful how bad I've been playing. But good play in a red, enjoy playoffs. That's fine, but yeah, Terra Psychic was a good play. The weakness policy was just the thing I didn't. I don't know why it's not on my radar. It's been used this season. I just blipped. Which means that with this team, like the Sceptile was phenomenal. I'm really proud of how I played the Sceptile. I didn't need... I mean, it could have been... Still, it was useful to have what I had. I needed to get Vikavolt in, I think, before the agility. I just didn't even consider agility, so that's me. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed me losing this entire season, but I'll do my best next season. We'll see if there's another video or something like that. I don't know when this one's coming out. As I said, I haven't figured any of this stuff out yet, but It's just a really crappy season. A lot of things could have gone my way, and they didn't. So, but I don't think even with the right place, I would have made playoffs with the way the battles turned out. So, like, even if with the rolls, I don't think it would have mattered. And I'm just tired of losing. So I'm going to do some work on the offseason to get some work done to make the team better and to make myself better at Draft League. I'm already starting to get some notes, and I think I'm already seeing improvement, so that's great. But I just need to prepare a little bit better, I think. Yeah. But big shout outs to everyone who's helped me out, which unfortunately has not been a lot of people this season. We haven't had a lot of mocks. I said that was something that really could have been helpful in the past that we didn't get. But thank you guys for those who helped with draft, with the mocks, with decisions on trades and those kinds of things. It's been great. Wish I could pilot this team better, but hey, see what happens next time. That's it for the battles. We'll see if I do a postseason. I don't know yet. There's not a lot to talk about, unfortunately. So I'll see you next time. Until then, my name's Chaos, your coach of the Detroit Red Wingulls. Stay safe out there, and as always, burn it out.